Fucking A right, little doggy. Welcome to the smoke pit. Mike is still overseas, visiting different whorehouses and paying his court-appointed child support payments. So today I have a reoccurring guest, Lindsay. Y'all know her, y'all love her, and a special guest that I actually grew up with, EP Mike. Would you care to introduce yourself, Julia?
Hi, my name's Julia Lewandowski. I'm a police officer in Richmond area, a little podunk town called Powhatan. So,
All right. So on a scale of 1 to 10, how big are drunk farmers fighting scarecrows? How big of a problem is that?
I've never really dealt with anybody like that.
Oh, come on, work with me here.
We had like two guys on like quads get attacked by bees.
Wow, I definitely want to know most, if not all, of that story.
Yeah, well, that was interesting.
But speaking of stories, you have intimate knowledge of some embarrassing moments of our executive producer.
Yeah, I went to high school with him, and we had a couple classes together, and
Oh yeah.
yeah, we were in ROTC together.
Oh,
and-
he was one of those ROTC kids, huh?
Oh yeah, he was. He was the biggest tryhard ever.
Wow, that is not surprising. So was he one of those kids that was like you see in the memes, like ROTC kids be like?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Was he one of those ones that like wore his uniform when he didn't have to?
That was debatable.
So don't look him in the eyes.
I bet all of his MySpace pictures
Oh,
were
totally.
just him in his little ROTC uniform,
They
curly
were.
hair everywhere,
They were.
dimples shining.
Oh man, it was so funny because like his uniform was like perfect all the freaking time, and then like he would do everything above and beyond just to
What happened?
Wah, wah, wah.
Then he joined the
Alcohol.
Yeah, for our listeners, he just held up a tall boy. Should you really be drinking tall boys while you're executive producing the show? And he gives a thumbs up. Yeah, so I think he joined the army, and he realized he was gay, and he was very popular on account of his massive dong. And yeah, and then his life took a very tragic Hollywood turn, went straight into the dumpster.
Well, he did do the little movies when we were in high school too.
What? He made gay porn in high school? Ladies and gentlemen, breaking news. You heard it here first. He started his gay porn career in high school.
Incredible.
Absolutely outstanding. Mike, what do you have to say for yourself? You heard it, folks. He's speechless. All right, so let's kick this shit wagon off. Do you have any stories or any moments that no, you don't get to talk. All right, you had your chance to be up here. We offered to give you your own show. You declined. You had your chance. We can do an episode called Mike's Rebuttals, like AJ's. Any stories that stick out in your memory? And again, you don't have to look him in the eyes. He's not a person.
Oh. I don't know. I mean, I think one of my favorite memories is of us playing airsoft at the park down the street from my house and me shooting the shit out of him.
What? You got killed by a girl?
Well, I also did have a ghillie suit on. So,
What?
yeah, I made one out of some old BDUs and
Yeah.
some jute shit that I dyed.
Wait. Did you say Jew shit that you died?
Yeah.
Like you went into like a synagogue and went to the Lost and Found, and like that's what you made your ghillie suit. What instead of like the little tassels and like camouflage, was it like the curls of the Jews? Like were you walking up and like
Yeah.
snipping hair?
Yeah, I
And,
mean,
like,
it
that's
worked
what-
out great.
That's what you made your ghillie suit out of?
Yeah, well, I mean, I scared the fuck out of some people with that on Halloween.
No,
It,
no.
it was great.
So
but-
was he the type to call hit when he got shot?
Oh, he would be so dramatic.
That is honestly not surprising. When we're out doing something, just typical man shit like building a house, clearing a forest, changing out an engine, which I know Julia actually does change out engines, and so she'll call bullshit on that because I have no idea what the fuck I'm doing.
I'm sure the noise was also pretty similar to how he finishes, which
Yeah.
Dan would know much
Yeah.
about. So
Yeah, because I mean, with the cyclic rate of girls that he brings over, it's just like every 45 seconds. Like I'm just hearing like,
hit.
yeah, it sounds like he's throwing up.
Perfect.
Which is actually a little bit of foreshadowing to a game we're going to be playing later on. But I digress. I am fortunate enough today to be joined by two lovely ladies. And wait a second, you were law enforcement? You're law enforcement? Dan Sharp and two female cops. Where have I heard this story before?
Oh, God.
Wah, wah, wah. See, they can neither confirm nor deny they were the ladies in the article.
I've been told to keep my silence.
Yeah.
Same.
Yeah, so do you feel that, like, with your law enforcement background, that helps or hinders your chances of getting out of a speeding ticket? Lindsay?
Definitely doesn't. When I got pulled over in San Diego for...
Well, that's a communist state to begin with.
Well, that's
The
true.
burritos are fucking awesome, though.
God, don't even get me started on food right now. When I got... Because I knowingly ran the red light. I got kind of tired of sitting there. And my apartment complex was right across the street from a Taco Bell. And I was so hungry.
Again, Dan Sharp, 2 female cops and a
Oh,
Taco
yeah.
Bell. Where have I heard this story? Yes, quite.
I have some PTSD flashbacks.
Just don't tase me again. Like, I mean,
You liked it.
That's what I was gonna say.
That's what did it.
yeah, so you ran the red light and then you got caught.
On purpose. I knew what I was doing. I sat there for a good 10 seconds. Then I was like, this is taking too long. No one's around. Kept going. And this cop just comes out of the asshole part of the street.
Wait, what's the asshole part of the street?
It was really tight and closed off. There was bushes over there.
Oh, so he came
And
out of the
I had-
asshole and past the bushes?
Or he honestly could have been in plain sight. And I'm just so completely unobservant, which is terrifying for my compadres in the law enforcement industry. But
It's
yeah.
like, I saw this clip where this it was like Chloe's first black dick, and it was a porn, and there was this girl with her boyfriend who was a black guy, and the mom was coming, so he put a lampshade on his head and stood in the corner.
Oh my god.
And the mom came in and was like, "That's a really weird looking lamp." And the dude coughs and brings his hand up, and this fucking lost my shit over that.
I would really appreciate it if you didn't share my sex life to your audience
I
that.
changed your name to Chloe for your safety. You're the one who called yourself
That's
out.
my stripper name. So, so yeah, I ran the red light. He comes out of the butthole. I get pulled over because there is a story to that, as there always is. And he pulls me over, and I see he's this old white dude, and I'm shaking as I do, either from cocaine, caffeine, or just a constant state of anxiety and crippling depression.
Yeah, same.
Yeah, and he's like,
Julia's like, "What the fuck did I get myself into?"
Julia's gonna follow me out of the apartment complex, what can I get today?
Not my jurisdiction.
No,
Oh, fair
I
enough.
feel that. And I'm like, okay, I already decided, I'm gonna pull the military card. And I'm like, this will help me. He comes up to the window. And he's like, you ran that red light. And I'm like, yeah. And that was my opportunity to just pretend like I'm a complete idiot. Oh no, officer, I didn't mean to run that red light,
Oh, bless my stars.
Oh,
Was that a
bless
red
my
light?
heart, bless
I
my-
didn't notice that. I was on my way to worship Jesus, and
Bless my little Georgia peach, y'all. Oh.
I was just so excited to go praise the Lord.
And he even said that. He was like, that was your opportunity to be like, no, I didn't see it, and I could have given you. And then I thought about it, I'm like, fuck.
Yeah.
Anyway, and I'm like, yeah, he's like, making those stupid casual conversations like they do, no offense. And he's like, so what do you do? He was like, oh, I'm in the Navy. He's like, I'm retired Navy. And I'm like, oh, thank God. And then I'm like, he's like, what's your rate? And I'm pretty sure up to this point, before I said what I was about to say, he was not going to give me a ticket. He was probably going to give me a warning, but not
Yeah.
a ticket. And I go, I'm a master at arms, which is military police. And he's like, instantly, oh, you should have known better.
I hate cops like that.
Oh, yeah, I
freaking
was
hate cops like that.
I was getting so excited because I'm like, I'm getting away with it.
Yeah.
I did something stupid and knowingly wrong. Here it is. And he's like, you should have known better. Blah, blah, blah. Here's a $530 ticket.
California tickets are the fucking worst.
3 points on my license. Go fuck yourself. You're an MA and your life is a living hell.
See, my thing is either you should either scorn and just do the warning, or you just write the ticket and shut up and just go on your way.
And in my defense, I don't know if he knew I'd already been arrested 10 months prior, but I've really never gotten a lot of tickets recently.
I never got one before.
Yeah, I have one ticket on my record, and that's out towards your jurisdiction. I was heading out. I was on my way west, just south of Richmond, towards 95, and it was one of those fucking traps where it goes from I think a little north, a little west of Emporia, and I was doing like 55, and then it was like immediately 35, and then like 10 feet after the speed limit, I was doing like 42, and he popped me, and I was like, really, bro? Like, really? You're gonna give me a ticket for 7 over? And then it was like a $120 ticket, and I was traveling, and I completely fucking forgot about the court date and just didn't show up, and I had a full-blown fucking panic. I was like, fuck, like, that's it, I'm gonna get fucking arrested, I'm gonna get sent to a federal pound me in the ass prison, like, that's it, my life's fucking over. I was like, wait a second, let me call the number first, like, maybe if I turn myself in, it'll only be like slight ass pounding prison versus like full federal ass pounding. And they're like, oh no, you're good, do you just want to make a payment on the phone? I was like, are you fucking kidding me?
Yeah,
they're like, yeah. Really... It was like, honey, bless your stars. Like, you can make a payment right now. I was like, all right, good to go. I really hope it wasn't like a sex worker line or like some fucking like.
But you would know that from experience already. Yeah. You just have them all memorized, from what I understand.
I mean, if it was, she did a really good job.
Yeah.
And like that's what like lured me into a sense of complacency.
I mean, you don't know that she wasn't back there just flicking her bean, like
clicking the mouse.
Yeah, I mean, you do have a sultry voice, like.
Yeah, I had to get something in the appeal lotto. So.
Yeah, if the meme business doesn't work out,
which I'm hoping it does,
Yeah, sex line worker. Perfect.
Yeah, when I first invited Julie on the show, what was it? She's like, "You really have a face for radio," and I was like, "Ouch."
That is what she said.
Yeah, deeply fucking wounding. But back to you. Have you ever gotten out of a ticket, or does it hurt that you're law enforcement?
Well, in my opinion, I think it helps, to be honest, but it depends on who stops you, because you could get stopped by one guy who's the nicest person on the planet, and you just do the whole, oh, hey, by the way, I'm a cop, and they're like, oh, okay, deuces.
Yeah.
Or they can just be like, you scorn you, like, you should know better, blah, blah, blah.
But don't you guys actually have a card or something, or is that just in the movies?
No, I got a card.
Do you flash your badge?
I try
like casually.
Well, I've only ever been pulled over one time.
Oh, she's in the wrong crowd.
I was about to say.
We're a bunch of hooligans here.
And it was
like,
for
SWAT's
going.
On their way right now to fucking raid my room, so we got to wrap this show up.
Oh well, fuck.
We're Anderson Cooper.
I got stopped going 105 on 95.
Okay.
Oh, I-95.
Mm-hmm.
I respect that. 105.
And
now, let me ask you, were you on your way to a dick appointment?
I guess so.
I mean, that would justify the speed. Like, if I pulled a girl over and she's like, look, man, like, I'm just really trying to get laid. I'm like,
dude, your ovaries only hot for so long.
Yeah, I'm like, you know what? Clear the road. Police escort. You know, like, we got a convoy coming through. You need Smokey the fucking Bandit on this shit right now.
Yeah, well, I mean, I was going to a rodeo, legitly. So.
Okay. A rodeo.
So not a sexual rodeo?
There's gonna be plenty of cowboy and
that was later.
That
was later.
Okay, I thought you were making like a.
I had to learn first.
Yeah.
I understand. Yeah.
So this was like training.
Yeah, basically.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, and the cop came up and he's like, "Do you know why I stopped you?" And I was just like,
"Cause I'm fucking awesome."
Well, I mean, I'm pretty sure I would have gotten a ticket if I said that, but because arrogance is ugly. But
yeah.
No. I was just like, no, I don't know why, blah, blah, blah. And he was just like, oh, well, I got you at 105. I didn't know this thing could go 105 miles an hour. And I was like, it's a 1998 Escort.
No, because
I didn't know it could go that fast.
Because you build cars, and so we were like, oh, I was doing 105. I was like, yeah, she was in a classic Mustang, maybe a T-top convertible, like hair fucking blowing. And that's why I was like, some fucking awesome. I just pictured you in a muscle car, that fucking glasses, looking super cool. But no, it was a Ford Escort.
Yeah.
Wow.
Bright red.
Bright red Ford Escort.
Yeah, it was a 4-speed. So, yeah, wow. I'll give it that. And it was a sport, so. 4
to the floor, huh?
Hey, yeah. It's my first car. But, no. And I ended up crying and.
You're a cop!
No, this is before I was a cop, okay? But I've only ever told a couple people that story.
Yeah, now you've just told literally thousands upon thousands.
Hey, shit happens.
Yeah.
Hey.
So if you were to offer any advice to the military guys that listen to us, which most of which are drunken assholes, let's be honest.
I mean, be as cooperative as possible, but if you're getting arrested at that point, you kind of already fucked that up pretty bad. So just don't get arrested. And don't drive drunk.
So my advice would be flirt with the cop. I have flirted with 2 cops in my life. One worked, one didn't work. Surprisingly, it was the female that it worked and the guy that it didn't work. And it was a very expensive fucking ticket. I think that he would, like, maybe I had offended him somehow. He's like, what? I'm not one of them. I'm not one of them boys.
Oh my God.
And he was very offended. And I was like, well, I had to give it a fucking shot, you know?
You tried.
Yeah, I tried. You know, it wasn't.
Damn, I admire that.
I mean, because I have no fucking shame in that. Like, I'll flirt with dudes. I don't give a fuck. Mike, I'll suck your dick right now.
Let's go.
See, that's the most excited I've ever seen him about anything. I told you, he's a fucking fiend.
The dimples came out.
Yeah.
He was ready.
How many times you pulled your putt today? 6 to 8. You're a fucking animal. All right, so that's the segment on that. See, look at that. 195 text messages.
It's my mom. It's my mom and feet.
Yeah, that's another story we gotta talk about.
Are we gonna talk about that?
Yeah, we can talk about
All right,
that. Yeah.
all right. So balloon guy, right?
Yeah. You want to summarize?
In summary, he
So you guys hooked up a few times, and then you had a falling out, and he tried to rekindle. And what did you tell him?
he tried to re-spark our flame. Should I read it verbatim?
Yeah, I think that would be good.
Oh fuck! Now I gotta pull it out. That's what she said.
It was hot.
What did I say that even fucking instigated this? I was like, oh, I told him I don't hate myself enough to ever have sex with you again. And then he was like, I see you've came a long way, grasshopper. Like, what the fuck is that?
That's actually a pretty G response.
That is a G response. I actually laughed, but I would never tell him that. Hopefully he doesn't listen to this.
He probably
Actually,
does.
hopefully he does.
Yeah.
I said, think about it this way. You blow up a balloon, and yay, it's fun and happy party time. Then it pops, and it's useless. You'll never be able to blow it up again. That's how I feel about guys I hook up with. It was exciting and fun at first, but I already got what I wanted from you, and now I'm bored. Time to find a new balloon.
Whew, cold as ice.
And let me just like support myself a little bit here and say he deserved it.
Yeah.
Like I like to call it a sass hole because I'm sassy and kind of an asshole.
Yeah.
The same way.
And Dan knows this. And
Yeah,
I'll
post a picture and I'm like, yeah, I'm kind of feeling, pretty good today, and she'll like text me back like, shut up, no one loves you.
yeah, and I'll be like, you look like dirt.
Yeah, pretty much.
You are scum at the bottom of my boot.
So, do you have anything else to say to this guy, or was that the it?
It was basically it. He said, okay, he tried to like make himself seem like the cool guy after I tried to make myself seem like the cool guy. He was like, oh yes, a female that gets it, literally my life. And then I was like, and yet here you are.
But then under that it says, you still coming over, and you said, on my way.
No,
I'm kidding.
That is definitely not what that says.
Oh, he sent you a black heart. Oh,
I send black hearts all the time.
Ew.
I like to show people a reflection of my actual heart, and that's
Yeah.
the best way I've found to do it.
Oh,
Yeah.
you
So
usually just send like a shrimp roll,
okay, let me defend my shrimp for a second here. The reason that is beside my Snapchat username is because I have a really deep reason.
Yeah, let's hear it.
I like shrimp,
Yeah.
and that's it. And an unrelated note, my boob almost fell out of my shirt.
Make sure you watch us on YouTube. EP, can you take a time hack and then send me the email clip, and I'll be in my bunk?
And I'm selling it for the same price I sold my feet pics.
Yes. Speaking of which, so we're gonna let Julia rant about Marines a little bit, and then we're gonna get to your feet pics, and then we'll go fucking have a beer or something.
The Marines?
Yeah. Let's hear a little bit about it. Unleash thy fury.
Well, I mean, I was almost a Marine, so
Yeah.
Bless your
that almost happened.
It almost.
Yeah, and then I went to college.
Oh!
Wow, this has just been shit on Dan
and
episode.
then you became like overqualified.
No, because then I dropped out and became a police officer and decided to make $38,000 a year. So we are supposed to get a raise soon, though. So maybe it's like 3%.
Oh wow!
Yeah, you can treat yourself to a Happy Meal.
Yeah, I know, right?
Yeah, and afford to put air in your tires, and we'll be good to go. All right, so back to Lindsay selling feet pics.
Fuck me.
Again, on her premium Snapchat.
And my premium. Yeah, I don't have a premium Snapchat because I feel like we should clarify that because people are gonna start looking for it, and then I'm gonna get.
Oh no, she most certainly has one, and a free password code to get into that comes with every tank top purchase
It does.
from our website. If you go to popsmokemedia.com, the link's in my bio on Instagram. You can get we got these really cool new patches. They're like a smoke grenade, says Pop Smoke. We got tank tops, we got stickers, Lindsay's nudes, just like whatever you want is on there basically.
And they're half price right now because, you know, I'm gaining a little weight. So
No, quite the opposite actually.
Yeah.
She's preparing for a show.
I am.
Yeah, and I think that's why.
Because I fucking hate myself.
Wait, is my picture an ostrich?
Yes. You don't remember sending me this?
How drunk was I?
You weren't even. Actually, you know what? You probably were drunk. You
No,
sent me a Snapchat, and it was the ostrich filter, and I was like, "Holy fuck!"
I mean, like, I can't even like really get drunk because I'll die. But like, that's what I just say if I don't remember something, because I don't want to be like, oh, it's because of the brain damage from
I
war.
say it's because of the cocktail of antidepressants,
Yeah.
mixed with a little bit of Stella. But
Yeah, which is really unfortunate. Like when you're dating and they're like, oh yeah, like you said you were gonna do this weekend. I'm like, oh, I can't dispute it, so I'm just gonna have to go with it.
no,
Aw.
I don't even have any. I think I'm just an idiot because I left my lights in my fucking car on. Oh, my mouth is getting so dirty. I left them on all night last night, and I was literally this morning actually was talking on my phone, and I was like looking around my office. I was like, I wonder where my phone is.
And I've done that before.
I think I'm fucking losing it. But feet pics, right?
Yeah.
Anyway,
So this was a guy that you had served with.
Yeah.
Or not.
I served briefly with him.
Briefly
I
with-
won't
so that's
say
how you-
where, just to like.
That's how you knew him, and he saved in your phone as Feet Guy.
I forgot his name,
Aw.
and I wanted to like distinguish him because like, well, we were just talking casually. I forgot why we started talking. I think
He was like, oh hey, you remember me? Like,
no, I think he responded to one of my thirst trap pics. But
again, premium Snapchat.
my premium, yeah, it was on my premium. This whole thing, by the way. So we're just talking casually. Can I ask you something weird? I'm like, I mean, shit, go for it. I mean, I'm sure I've heard everything in the book. He said something like, do you have a foot fetish, or how do you feel about feet,
Yeah.
or something like that. I'm like, well, you know, I walk, and
I walk and
that's about it. That's what they do, right?
And so then he offered to buy them, like pictures of your feet.
Yeah. Which I was like, I thought he was kidding because like,
So for our listeners, what is the rate for that?
okay, I don't know. After the fact, I actually Googled how much people actually charge because I was like, I really feel like I lowballed this guy.
Yeah,
And
you did
I
your
could've-
research. Yeah.
Yeah, after the fact though, after it had already been like, okay, I'll
Wait, so
send
you did sell him feet pics?
Yes.
Wait, a little louder, please.
Yes.
And
I
so,
sold him my feet pics.
and so, how much did you charge him?
$10
$10
for the first one.
for the first one.
For the
Okay.
first one, and
Okay.
then he got all excited and he started calling me owner.
Owner.
I prefer daddy, but
Yeah.
he.
I like Poppy.
Oh my god. Look at her.
Yeah.
What a freak. Dan's getting really excited over here. Just
I know
for
I'm blushing. It's
let the
terrible.
record show that Dan has a major freedom boner right now.
Yeah, it's just
Yeah.
it's very, very impressive for everybody who can't see. Just believe me.
Yeah, it's super. So the feet pics. Okay, so he gets really excited. I guess I have really great feet, which my mom always told me I had great feet and I should sell my pictures to random guys on Facebook.
What?
Yeah,
Making your parents
definitely.
proud.
I am. They love me sometimes. And he gets all excited and he asks for more, and I'm like, "Ooh, he wants more. What? How much more can I get from him?" And I'm like, "Yep, $20. I'll send you one more picture." And he did it. and I sent the feet pics. And in like the 5 minutes that this conversation took place, I made $30. I was like, so
$30 for 5 minutes.
So this is what you should know about that, right? Come on.
Your
And-
feet? No, thank you. I don't have that kind of money.
Okay, first of all, I'm not gonna show my feet because if I did, I would have to set up like a GoFundMe or something
Yeah.
for your viewers. Yeah, and he sends me, so I make $30 in 5 minutes off of feet pics.
Did he have any other like weird requests that were just like too far?
Oh no.
So the conversation somehow spills.
She is beat red right now.
I am
Go
not.
watch her videos on
Okay,
YouTube.
I have no.
She has titties falling out. She's blushing. Like,
All right, you scared me for a second.
yeah. Did he ask you anything else? Like, was he willing to like do like? Did he have any other weird requests?
He wanted me to come over,
Yeah.
and when I came over, and let me just like say for the record, I was entertaining this conversation, yes, but I wasn't actually going to do it because first of all, it would be creepy just to go because you don't know what someone's gonna do to you, you know. So
Yeah.
it was like I was just like, well, this would be good just to read out later. Like, let me see how far I can take him.
I mean, I get it. We all entertain things when we're bored.
Yeah, and you can see he's asking me if my toes are painted, and he wanted to come on my feet.
Oh man, how much was he offering for that?
I said $200.
And
He didn't offer. I said $200. He's like, that's probably not gonna happen. So I was like, okay, take care. And then he was like, wow, he got mad at me. I was like, okay. First of all, these feet are a business. Okay? We don't
this
sell.
is an establishment.
Yeah, these feet are an establishment now. You hyped up my feet.
Yeah.
So now my feet are like up here. So I'm gonna fucking charge you. I got bills to pay. I gotta pay a lot for the show.
Yeah.
Like whatever. Not this.
Yeah. So you got paid for this. What'd you do with the money?
Oh, I know what I bought.
A Pop Smoke tank top.
Actually, yes. that is what I bought.
Yeah, so to kind of segment into that, I'm going to go ahead and hit the stop on the timer because now that we're getting to my favorite subject, suicide, you experience a lot of things in different professions, and there's a lot of different ways to cope with the stress and the anxiety and the nerves. And I think one of the things that people don't really see oftentimes, like in movies and on TV and such, is the come down. Whenever you get into a situation, you know, that like turkey baster of adrenaline hits your arm and like you're in the fucking moment, it's life or death, and you get through it, and then afterwards nobody fucking talks about what happens then. Nobody talks about how to handle it. And I don't know about you guys, but in situations that I was fearing for my life, I was fearing for others, and then afterwards, and you kind of get back to a safe place where you have you're either in your vehicle, you're back on base, or behind friendly lines. You have people that can like pick up the security for you, so you don't have to like be vigilant. Like, I'm fucking shaking, I'm fucking crying, fucking trying not to throw up. Like, it is fucking intense. Like, when you get hit with a shit ton of fucking adrenaline, and then you start the downslide, like nobody fucking teaches you how to cope with that. Like, through physical training and range time, you kind of learn how to control the nerves in the moment, but afterwards it fucking sucks. Yeah. So like, how do you guys in the situation, because you both have been in some hairy situations, and so like, how have you dealt with those nerves and things afterwards? Julia?
I listen to Screamo.
That is the best response ever.
Any bands in particular?
Goat Whore is one of my favorites.
Wait, Goat Whore?
Yeah, oh yeah.
I'm looking this up.
That's my other Snapchat premium name, actually.
Oh, that's pretty hot. I'm gonna have to look it up.
Oh yeah, do that.
Do you got any other tips for dealing with that?
Definitely, like, in all seriousness, like talking to people, like finding that person, to like vent to, and it's not anything. Did you find it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. Thankfully, that was the first thing that popped up when I googled goat whore. She's like, I got you good, fucker.
But the record show, his Google history also had goats being fucked by whores.
I mean, I got to figure out how to get EP Mike out of jail sometimes,
That's fair.
Yeah. So talking to people and
I mean, it's not. There's nothing wrong with Don't hold everything in. That's one thing I've learned, and I had to learn that the hard way. Because when I was a lot younger, I had a pretty ugly situation at home. But, definitely talking to people made that a lot easier for me. And then working in this line of duty, just, like I said, finding that one person and just, venting to them what your issue is. And a lot of departments now, they have a peer support, which is awesome, in my opinion. Yeah, because, like, cop suicide rates are really high, too, along with the military. So
when you first spoke out the first time this happened to you, were you scared? Did people give you a hard time about it? Like, because I mean that because in the military, when we speak up, like, hey, this happened and this was kind of fucked me up in the head, and then people call you like a pussy, or you just can't talk about it in the military.
That's not like that.
It's not like that in the real. Okay.
Mm-mm. No, we would rather you go get help and be a good officer on the street, because you're an asset, not, we want you there 100% when you're on the street, because I'm somebody else's backup, and I got to get home, and they got to get home, so I guess that's just how I see it. So
yeah. And Lindsay, so how do you find yourself coping with that dump of adrenaline and different chemicals?
I still remember the case that I had that I first experienced it, and it was an intense one. Also because the case kind of hit home to the situation I was going through at the time, and basically what had happened was it was a domestic violence situation.
Yeah.
And we had to separate two individuals, and over the radio it was conveyed that there was possibly a weapon. Like the male had a weapon and he was about to use it on the female, and that was just like, it was almost like I was moving in slow motion kind of thing. And I kind of felt myself like going into the black, which is, for some people who don't know, a term when your brain basically shuts off when you're in a high intensity situation. And I started to feel that happen to me, and I just had to like snap. I had to snap out of it, because if I got myself to that point, who knows what could happen. Adrenaline starts pumping, and eventually we decrease the situation. And then afterwards, I was still going, and I was scared. I wasn't used to that. I wasn't prepared for that. That is not any kind of military training. And I didn't come down from it for literally hours, because I was already an anxious person just by nature. And it was super hard for me. I remember we had like a smoke area behind our precinct, and I like paced. I was literally pacing back and forth, trying to like burn off all the extra energy, because I felt like I was losing my mind. It was intense, and it was terrifying.
Yeah, I've been there. The first pursuit I got, I was as a rookie, I guess. And you can say it was before I actually went through completely academy and as a patrol officer. And I just went based off of my training that I had previously. And, I'm pointing my gun at this dude, like, oh my God. Like, I didn't know what the hell, that if I crossed a line, or because nobody, they didn't really say anything to me. So after I got done, I don't normally smoke, but I smoked 2 cigarettes back to back. And I was
just talking about this makes me want
ready.
a cigarette.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't really talk about it a whole lot. You kind of spit on me there. Do I have to pay for that?
Did I?
Just a little bit. Like...
I'm sorry. I just get really excited when you
cool.
like turn towards me, and I'm in.
He smells really good.
Doesn't? I said that when I walked in.
Well, thank you. I don't really talk about it a whole lot, but I had a bit of a rough upbringing. I found myself in a few different last names and living in a battered children's shelter. Real fucked up situations. And granted, I know people have had it worse than me, so I never feel sorry for myself. It's always important to remember when you're trying to push through things. But when I was a child, like, I was too weak to defend myself. I couldn't stop anything from happening to me. And now that I've grown, I've become a quite large man. Like, I think I weigh more than both of you put together. And I'm in Iraq, and we get a report that this guy, Fidel Mohammed Zattar, I'll never forget this cocksucker's name. He kidnapped the sheik's daughter, held her for ransom. The sheik paid the ransom, and then he cut her head off. He was like, "Fuck you," and like, "I have your money," like, and so he killed her. And we got the HVT report, and so they launched my squad out, and I was leading patrols. 21 at the time. It's really fucking crazy to look back at, because I feel like at like where I'm at now in life, like, I still don't have my shit together. Like, I'm still waiting to figure out what I want to be when I grow up. And then to think about like where I was at that point, it's just like, who the fuck put me in charge? And so we go there, we infiltrate. It's nighttime raid. We have NVGs. We look fucking super cool guy. We come fucking infiltrating in, clearing corners, fucking communicating, like fucking separating the men and the women, doing the fucking I think it's the high bat system. The bats and hide system, that's what it was. And so we got the dude's fucking like iris confirmation that this was him, this was the motherfucker. And then like as we're fucking like taking him, like this dude's fucking wife, she is fucking crying and screaming bloody fucking murder. And she's like runs up to me and she like grabs me and she's begging me not to take this dude. And like in my head, I'm just like this motherfucker's a fucking terrorist. Like, he is a fucking, like, he's not like the low-level terrorist, like the fucking dude that, like, shoots and runs away. Like, he's the fucking leader of the cell, Like, this is the guy. This is the guy that fucking had this poor girl fucking executed. And, like, she's begging for us not to take him away. And I'm like, how can you love a motherfucker like this, But that's the way it is. Like, all the people that have ever hurt us in our life, there's people who fucking love them. And so, we detain the dude, we take him back, and afterwards, like, I remember I go back to a little birthing area, fucking pop my lid, take my fucking flak and Kevlar off, fucking, throw it in the corner. It's like a fucking 100 pounds or something. And my weapon, I kind of like gingerly set that down because I don't want to lose the zero in my my optic. As mad as I am, I'm like throwing shit. I'm like, oh, gentle, and but I'm just fucking shaking because I'm like, this is the fucking cocksucker that's like, you know, killed fucking Marines and soldiers and sailors and, you know, everybody else who's in the area, you know, Iraqi fucking policemen that I have trained with my own fucking 2 hands. Like, they've died in IED strikes and stuff. I was like, this is the motherfucker. Like, I should be fucking happy about this. And all I could fucking think about was how big of a piece of shit this person was. The fact that I could have wrapped my hands around his fucking throat and just ended him, but I couldn't do that. I had to take him in for his due process. And then the fact his wife begged me not to take this dude. And so I'm sitting there and I'm fucking just shaking. And, like, I want to fucking throw up. I'm furious. Like, I hate the system. Like, this is 07. Like, we're supposed to be done with this fucking war, but now we just did a surge. And it's like, what the fuck do I do with all these emotions? And the way that I basically came down from that was I took that energy and I made a checklist of everything that I had to do for the next day. And I was like, all right, so I got to check these batteries. I got to make sure this is good. I got to inspect this. I got to file this report. I got to restock this. And even though, like, I was fucked up, like, I set myself to purpose and started executing a task list, and I was able to distract myself from those emotions enough until, you know, the adrenaline stuff was able to take its course and just run itself out. And you can kind of translate to the fact that if you're in that situation, like, find something to do. Don't just sit there and fucking stew about it, whether it's going to talk to somebody or whether it's, you know, checking on a friend to see how they're doing with the situation, or even just fucking actively Googling, what the fuck do I do after a trauma, you know?
Yeah.
You are your biggest advocate. Nobody cares about you more than you should care about yourself.
That's true.
You're the one fucking living in your own skin. And at the end of the day, if you're thinking about taking your life, you're going to be the one who pulls the trigger or takes the pill or cuts the wrists. And you are the best defense in stopping that. So you need to fight for yourself as hard as you would fight for other people if they were in danger. Because if you had a partner, you know, who, you know, was hit in a traffic stop, or, you know, if you had a partner that, you know, was tackled by a suspect or whatever, like, you'd fight with everything you have, right? But then when we're not in that situation, how unwilling are we to fight for ourselves?
Yeah.
How, you know, like, you think about how desperately everybody would fight to save you if you were pinned down by, you know, by somebody, if you were in danger, if you were bleeding and you know, fucking and needing to be saved, how hard everybody else would fight for you then. But we're not willing to fight for ourselves.
That's right.
And we're so willing to take care of each other overseas or on the streets or on a call, whatever the case is. But then when we're back home, we don't take care of each other as much. Like, when you have the uniform on, when you have the body armor on, when you're carrying the weapon, it's everything. You would sacrifice everything to bring somebody back home to their family. But then why does it change when you take the body armor off? Why does it change when you take the round out of the chamber and store the weapon? It shouldn't change. So if I could say anything, it would basically be just take care of each other.
I agree. They say when you're in a situation on an airplane where, you know, you have to deploy the oxygen mask, the plane is going down, like, you put yours on first, and then you help someone else put on their oxygen mask. That is the same thing for what you need to be doing in life, because I was that person just recently who was putting on other people's mask and not putting on my own, and I was suffocating, and I was drowning, and I was losing breath, and I was crumbling. And then I had to save myself, and then I was like, hey, I need to get better at how I'm taking care of myself, and I need to be better about checking out about other people. Yeah. Like, it is so, self-care is so important, and it is completely undervalued, and people, it's so easy, and I said this before the first time I was ever on this, I think, that you just got to get off the couch, and you got to take care of yourself, check on your people, check on your parents. Like, I can't even stress that enough.
Yeah.
So, and if you had to recommend anything to our listeners, we have people who have been tried and tested. We have people who are waiting to be tested. And then we have people who are waiting to sign up. So you kind of have a broad spectrum. If you were to put out any sort of positive energy into that for them, what would you say?
Definitely, like, you can't help others unless you help yourself first. You have to be, you know, you have to be there for yourself in order to make others around you better, because, you know, I go off of everybody else's vibes, and, you know, and people go off of each other's vibes, and that's how, you know, I guess I came out of my bubble finally, and because I was around y'all.
You're welcome.
Thanks. But no, I mean, it's just, you gotta make you happy first. You know, I didn't learn that until like shit a couple of months ago when I got out of my fucking toxic ass relationship.
It really takes going through an experience to actually understand the experience. Like, it's so easy to be like, oh, I don't understand why she didn't do this, or I don't understand why he didn't do that. And then you actually go through it and you're like,
Holy fuck.
oh, this is why.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, that makes sense. And so we'd like to give a great shout out to our sponsors, Come Back Home Over. They do hair products, beard oil. Use our discount code Cream Pie to save 10%. Oh, did you not know that?
No.
And also make sure to check out Strikeforce Energy, designed by a real-life Navy SEAL. I've met the guy, I've shook his hand. He actually exists. Probably twice as badass as the video game Navy SEALs that you play. For those of you who played SOCOM, Navy SEAL 3, use our discount code SMOKEPIT to save some money. And yeah, so we'll take the profits that we get from that, we reinvest it into the show. You're replacing light bulbs, paying off judge magistrates, and I'm kidding. But yeah, so I would really like to thank our guest today, Lindsay and Julia. Thank you for your candor and thank you for your honesty. And I know those were some difficult topics to go through, but if one person is better for it, then I feel that we can all agree that it was worth it. And we've gotten amazing feedback from our listeners. Thank you so much for all the positive feedback. And make sure you tune in to our YouTube channel, because right after this, we're gonna go take a bathroom break, and then we're gonna come back and we're gonna eat some fucking weird jelly beans.
Ooh, yeah.
Yeah, apparently you like spin a thing and you get a color and you taste it, and if it's one color, like it might taste like either cotton candy or barf, or fucking it might be vanilla or spoiled milk.
It's like Russian roulette, but with candy.
Yeah, but in your mouth. AKA EP Mike's night at the truck stop.
He loves milk in his mouth.
He really does. Glory hole. I think we should make that a promo code next time. Glory hole.
Oh,
yeah, so if you'd like to sponsor the Smoke Spit, yeah, please reach out to us. But again, thank you to our guests, and if you'd like to sign off with anything. All right, bye.
Bye.